Well, let's see what kind of sound YouTube picks up here. Yep, sounds good. All right, and now the Facebooks. Oh, this page isn't available right now. Fuck you. I'm sure it won't be able to cross-post any of that shit because, you know, dumb. If you'll have to cross-post if we're going to cross-post anything. Did it switch your fucking audio again? Motherfucking bullshit. Fucking goddamn garbage. I should be able to hear you again.
Okay.
Yeah, fucking Skype switched the audio this time after I switched it in Windows.
All
I don't know what the fuck's going on with this shit, but it's fucking annoying.
All right. Well, so that you know, I'm not getting any of the lo-fi hip-hop. I'm getting it all on the stream, but I'm not getting any of it.
Oh no, I haven't turned up to you right now.
Right.
My bad. Here you go.
No, I was just letting you know because I know based on our commercial breaks and stuff like that, it's...
Yeah, I just gotta send it to monitor.
Boom, 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 boom.
I suppose I got time to grab a couple PBR coffees.
Yep.
like, what, 2.5 minutes?
2:10. That's what I got. And I'm going to refresh. Make sure, see whether that gets shorter. 2:03 in 2 minutes. So was you thinking about getting some butter?
What's that?
So was you thinking about getting some butter?
No.
Classified information, bruh.
Well, I've got like 70 different things up, and Discord is not one of them.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, kids these days.
Still my favorite thing to come out of the coronavirus so far, man. The memes are hardcore. 45 seconds. Yo, so did you hear about what Zoom was doing?
Mm-mm.
I'll have to bring that up during the show. We'll talk about Microsoft Teams a little bit, Zoom being a thing. We'll make that a little bit later on, probably. All right, 10 seconds. Are we ready?
Yep.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. It's Monday.
Doing all right over there, buddy?
Yeah, actually doing pretty good. Our like lockdown shit still hasn't officially. Well, no, at 5 o'clock today it officially went into effect. So, I am not even. I'm day zero of quarantine. I can't wait to be a part of all of the meme culture more so because I've been enjoying what I've been seeing, but now to dive into the experience on my own. It's funny because of how spread out my community of people I communicate with is.
Yeah.
It's funny to talk to people who are 15 days deep into quarantine and then talk to other people who are like 8 days deep into quarantine and then talk to other people who haven't gone into quarantine still yet. So it's kind of funny just seeing all the different stages all taking place at one time and none of them are like anywhere remotely close to like the same stack. So I battened down the hatches right at the very beginning. As soon as they were kind of like, yeah, this is what we think. I'm like, all right, well, if they're gonna say stay home, I'm just gonna go ahead and start staying there.
Yeah, the hell with it, man.
Yeah, so I mean, literally, this is normal life for me. I mean, I'm not too bad off with it, but yeah, my state is finally going into quarantine, so that did happen, or doing stay at home. So now we
Yeah.
got all this stay at home rules, but it's funny. Our list is just as dumb as everybody else's list of essential shit.
Yeah, some stuff that they're calling essential definitely isn't essential. But
No,
it's how much money is it going to cost everyone, including the taxpayer? I mean, if you really think about it, your stimulus check Well, we're the ones
in a
putting
lot of cases,
we're the ones putting the money into we're funding the government.
Well, not only are we putting the money in to be able to do that, but it's not enough. The one that's coming to you, like
It's
to a
based
normal
off of
household of yours, it's still not. It wouldn't take care of anything. I mean, you think about like a person in Web spending most of that check just on a rent.
Yep.
That doesn't have nothing to do with any of the bills that are ongoing, and doesn't have anything to do with like car loans or any of that other, like any of the other shit that there would be.
Right.
So most people are in the same situation where you're paying into something that they're going to give you some of this money back that you've already put into other shit. And then they're going to charge you later on down the line for taking this money now. As well as all the places that are also taking some of that money that are going to charge you because they had to take the money. So yeah, I mean it's going to be a wild fucking circle. It'll be interesting. Like I said, man, it's the one thing I still keep trying to imagine. What's the other side of this actually going to look like? Like, because I can see it, and I kind of understand what it looks like, and I understand the progressions that it can make to get to a pinnacle point. Like I can see all of that part of it, but I cannot for the life of me figure out the other side of it.
Yeah, dude.
Like what's going to be gone for good? Like there are certain things in life that are just going to be gone. They're not going to be there anymore.
Yeah. That's...
and unfortunately some people it's family members, but I mean we're also talking about like just rudimentary things that you don't think about in society are going to be gone.
Yeah, times they are changing.
Yeah. Yo, my girl is so upset. She works for one of the pharmaceutical distribution facilities.
Yeah.
And the grocery store they share a parking lot. It has the plexi guard post checkout lines now. you know, you know how the guard post looks now, right? You've seen them where they put up the plexiglass walls to keep the customer and the register separate from each other, and the belt and everything else. You can put your groceries on at one end, but all of it has to come out the other end. You don't get to interact with it in any way, shape, or form. There's just a card reader box that sticks out there for you to use. It's like, here you go. Here's your card reader box. And if you could, after you're done, will you wipe it down with that alcohol towel that's right next to it? Because there's a little thing of alcohol wipes for everybody to use next to it. And so that's the grocery store. And then she went to Lowe's, and Lowe's has got the same kind of barrier up at all of their places. But the place where she works, they ain't got nothing. and they're also not rocking the correct mask either. They're on the surgical side of mask instead of the get down and dirty N95. It really made her mad when she went to Lowe's, because when she went to Lowe's, she goes, all them motherfuckers had N95 mask, and they had the fucking shield up in front of all of their cash registers. She was like, here we are. We're supposed to be dealing with the most vital, like, chain, because there's definitely elderly people still getting their medicine.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to deal with that section of the supply chain, but you're not, the most susceptible chain of the population that they don't have them in the proper the proper things. It's like, man, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, dude.
But it's funny to see, because like a lot of places around here started springing up with all the precautions of other shit. Like there's advanced performance in some areas and well behind in other areas, where you see, like, when they talk about what's essential travel, and you look at some of the dumb shit on the list, and you're like, yeah, that's so bass backwards out of place that it just doesn't make any sense. Why would you do things that way? That's never going to work, and you've seen enough of it now around the country that you'd figure that they've seen enough now around the country that decisions would be made completely different than the ones that are made. And it's funny because it's everywhere. Every place has done not the same dumb shit, but they've done dumb shit where you're just like, can we? This fucking states' rights thing is starting to kind of be a little dumb.
Yeah.
Like a unified response would have been great. Probably would have handled everything one felt swoop. Kind of did the China thing, you know. Fucking whoop, Wuhan is gone for a moment, y'all. They'll be back in a couple weeks. Don't you worry about this. You know, it's okay. It would have been the same thing.
Well,
United States, just all of a sudden, boop, like it's down real quick. We'll be back to the global We'll be back to the global stage with y'all in a couple weeks. Holla.
I read some shit today that there's kind of a theory or some research being done, and there's some validity to it, that it's possible that COVID-19 has been floating around for a while now, and it's just now evolved to the point where it can make you really sick.
Yeah, well, what we're hearing in a lot of circles, and I'm all about the conspiracies all around this thing too. I love all of them. They're great. They're great. That's why I like the memes so much, is because they're also really, really. They go right with all the conspiracies too.
Oh
So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, I've heard some pretty wild shit as far as like, you know, we've talked about it because there's so many people that over since 2017 there's actually a lot of people that are saying that this particular strain of COVID may have been around already, but it was only affecting very small pockets of the population and nobody knew what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of mutated its strength on up. And I mean, not for anything, I also look back and think of how funny it is. They were like, don't use Plague Inc. to try and figure out what this is doing. And it's like, you know what? We could use it for modeling. It wouldn't be too bad on how it was going to happen because it seems to be just that weird of a spread, and it developed something along the way before it became fatal.
Yeah.
And it's not even consistent amongst its fatalities or its symptoms. So that's even more hilarious, is because you don't really know what it is. Like, some people suffer major fatigue and flu symptoms. Some people have stomach aches and tired body feelings. Some people like just get a bad cough. Like, they're just, and it doesn't, some people get weak of breath. Nobody's affected the same way, and it's not even the same type of people. Like, they were like, oh, it's the old people, you know, it was, yeah, we've already found out about like athletes that have gotten it.
Yeah.
And have had to battle through it, that are very healthy young people, you know. So it seems to be they tried to close in on it being able to have genetic markers that would show up that this was the certain systematic types of things it was picking up. But even that's been really different, because there's been some compromised immune system type stuff, and then there's been like bronchial type shit, and there's just these other things that come into play, you know, heart problem. Not even nothing to do with your immune system. It was a heart problem, and that was affected by it. You hear the crazy shit like, you know, the ibuprofen situation, on whether that is or is not beneficial or harmful to the while you have COVID.
Yeah.
You know, so there's both sides of that story, and it's a trip. It's a trip, but it's funny to look at the response. Not that serious. Ain't nobody got to worry about it. We'll just keep that shit away from everybody. Just keep you know,
Yeah.
keep washing your hands. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, well that didn't work. You know, and then people's response to that about it being so staggered. It's like everybody was waiting until it happened to them before they did anything about it.
That's the problem, but that's
Like ain't
the
ain't
world.
nobody in Ohio got it yet. We ain't doing shit, and Ohio shut down.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody in North Carolina got it. Yeah, we'll wait a week. Let's see if they
Yeah,
recover or
that's
not.
what I don't. That's one thing I don't understand is, why you waited until something happened to do something. And maybe it's because there's those people out there who would have been like, well, this is stupid. It ain't even here.
Well, it's true. It's true. But that's a very valid point. Like you are correct. It's not here. It's stupid to take all these extra precautions when it's not here. And then it's like, okay, but so what do we do when it gets here? Do you want to like the preparedness for it on every level? It's it should be better and better down the line as it's gotten along. Like everybody should learn from what New York and California and Ohio and Seattle and like Washington State like should learn from all of these different scenarios that have already happened, and the preparedness for each of them and the process and how they handle them is just so different.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows they need two things. They're talking the ventilators and the N95 mask.
Yeah, the PPE.
Like that's it. That's like the two big things. That's what everybody needs. And so we know that there's going to be a strain on the supply chain because everybody needs those. So that's just one thing. And we know everybody right now is busting their ass to make these things happen. But we're talking about we've seen what works. Shut shit the fuck down.
Yeah.
And camp out. Don't wait for it to get to you and then shut shit down and camp out. Shut shit down and camp out. That's what it was from the very beginning. From the very beginning. We should and not that we trust every bit of information that we've gotten out of China about the fact that their only cases are return cases, people coming back to China. Um, they haven't gotten any fresh in-house cases, no domestic spawn points.
Right.
So they're telling us they've got it under control, and now we're starting to see that Italy says that their numbers are starting to look better. Spain's in the middle of the hard hitting shit right now. New York's in the middle of some hard hitting shit right now. Their numbers are about to just like fly through the roof. But we know that if you isolate the population down to a very, very, very small group,
Yeah.
if you got 5 people who live in your house, all right, then fine. That's how many people you're allowed to hang out with. But aside from that, we don't want you going and playing a game of basketball at the park. So there's no sense in why you're at the park playing basketball.
Yep. Go for a walk.
It's just go for a walk. And
dude, fucking college
keep your
town
distance.
around here, the fucking students are throwing fucking house parties.
Y'all students didn't get sent home?
The ones who stayed are throwing house parties. Sitting outside with a grill and a beer like nothing's going on.
Your place didn't evacuate their campuses?
They did, but the people who have off-campus housing aren't required to leave. They can't make them leave.
No, they definitely can't because they're actually paying rent in places there in the area. Okay. And so those are the guys and gals that are still throwing down. Huh? Well, I mean, it is their spring break and everything else. I understand at that age how hard it would be to listen to the shit that's being told to you right now. I understand it. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I also understand, like, if it was me, if it was you, if we was in our 20s and the world was burning around us, we would probably just be running around with marshmallows and fucking sausages. It's not like we don't know that that's like us. That's like we would have done that. We definitely. But at the same time, you're hoping that it would be a learned behavior by the point you're talking about they're still doing it. You're hoping by this point that they would have gotten a handle on it. I mean, it's not like the means of communication and telling about the severity of this isn't intermingled. Like I said, I listen to everybody's responses from all these different places that I communicate with. Go reach to understand severity. So I know that what they're seeing out there is the same message, even in their group. So it's just like, come on, like they shut down Florida. Like, did that not tell you anything? Like when they were like, get the fuck off the beach, quit partying, get the fuck off the beach. Did that not tell you anything? And it not for anything. Maybe it'll weed out that section of the population too. I hate to wish anything on anybody. I'm not doing wishing on anybody. I wish them enlightenment.
To step in the city police and
See,
stuff, and they're going to have to start enforcing some shit.
that's the part that gets really tricky though, because you start talking like martial law, and there's a certain freedom level that I think we as Americans know other Americans would lash out at immediately.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it is a touchy situation, but there has to be.
Oh, there's going to be plenty of people who understand that this is what's going to happen.
Just give them a ticket and find that bitch ass. Then you know what I mean.
Those people are also going to be a little nervous about the fact of, wait, what are you talking about doing? And that's a real possibility though. If like it doesn't get handled, that's a real possibility. Like,
oh, you camera did one of my camera things. You went fuzzy.
What did you? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are we back?
you still all washed out, man. But there it is. It's back.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Yeah. It went. You were in witness protection there for a second.
I was saying some hot button shit. They needed to protect me for a moment.
yeah. But that's not gonna work.
Nope. Everybody knows who I am.
Yeah.
There's I do name tag up there never changed.
yeah. The name tag does not change. Oh well, outside of dealing with this dumb shit, what you been playing?
Oh, you know me, man. I'm fucking all over the place right now. I was pissed off the other day. Y'all were at an Xbox party. I was gonna join up with y'all and just fucking sit there and talk the shit and fucking nope. That internet was like, no, you can do every fucking thing else on the planet you'd like to do right now except for join that Xbox Live party. Like, so I can go play Borderlands? Oh, yeah. I can go play Destiny. Yeah. I can play Warzone. Yeah. Yeah. I just got done playing Forza. Fuck it. Since I can't get in the Xbox party, I'm just gonna go play Minecraft.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, that's literally my list. Like I'm more focused in on doing Forza and Minecraft. Those are like my number 1, number 2 games. We had that run of Warzone where I was kind of being punished from my week suspension of Forza.
Yeah.
And since that was lifted, I went back and started playing that again. Warzone, I guess I left at the right time because to my understanding, they changed that up enough.
It was pretty frustrating at first, man. I mean, kind of figured out a way to get wins the way I was before. It's just they drop more people basically right on top of you now than they did before, and that's really annoying.
I would imagine. I loaded into a game and forgot that I had Do Not Feel on. So a solo guy running around the map.
I put up 940K doing that once before the patch. Now, don't matter.
No, because it was like you drop to this, and then I hit the ground over in another area, and then that's one fight, and so I hit the ground in another area. I'm like, this is never gonna fucking work.
Yep, but Jameson and I, my boy and I, we got 2 wins back to back yesterday, just the 2 of us.
Just the two of y'all.
Yep. And doing all right. And then just kind of got sidetracked and started going for kills and shit like that. But I needed a break from it. I'd been playing it for a freaking week straight, nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, we know that we put in just in those first couple days like 30, 40 hours. So
Yeah, I put some time in.
like it wasn't like it came along slowly. It was like, we're playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Get ready. Stepped over to Destiny. The game's kind of hollow.
Is it?
Um, talks a lot of fun activities, but they're like trials is so cheater heavy that it's fucking ridiculous. Nobody over there is wanting to play into the competitive. I'm not one of those guys, so it didn't bother me. But like what the story I'm hearing from that side is life is fucking horrible. On my side, it's all PvE type stuff and people running public events got to know how to run the public events. People that are like, you got to run this bunker every day, but it doesn't really do anything. Like, running the bunker doesn't really do anything. And so you run the bunker and maybe knock out one of your like patrol things or one of your little contracts before you're done because a certain enemy type is in there and you kind of load up with the gun to go after them.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much what it is. Like, if you want to go and continue doing like the extra, once you complete the 5 normal ones and the 2 weekly ones, you get the uh all the bonus mission shit, and you can run a bunch of those. But that's what it becomes. It just kind of rinse and repeat off of that. The gear doesn't really help level you up much. It's not like it's changed a whole lot. They did open up another bunker, but it's just another bunker. It's kind of like the same thing from last season. Oh, you opened up another obelisk. Oh, you got another this. And then you go in and you do the group activity together, and it it's kind of, that's where it's at. It's fun being Destiny when you want to do Destiny, but you're only doing it because you just want to go play Destiny. There's not anything like, you can get everything and be kind of there within a couple hours.
Oh.
Yeah. So, um, and it didn't help that people wanted trials back, and the trials is janky. It's a hacker hangout.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not so much like the Dawson that they were worried about and other issues that they were worried that they were going to have. Like, that's not the problem that they've ended up running into. What they got are these character builds with these breakable options. And people are going in and breaking their characters just to like compete in trials. And so it's kind of one of those, like, it's not bannable all the way,
But close enough.
but it should be, you know, it should be, but it's their fault. They broke the game
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
when they put it together. I'm saying the developers,
Mm-hmm.
like they broke it when they put it together. So for these type of exploits to be allowed by their development team is one thing, and so that's why it should be bannable, because some of the breaks are horrible. That if you wear this certain armor and this character class, and you like go to double punch and then switch over to a different article of clothing, it breaks your character to where you're infinite super.
Oh,
Or you've got recharge, like where you can just run around the map punching, recharge. Like your shield's constantly just building. So you always got overshield.
yeah, that seems pretty lame, man.
Yeah, and so like I said, I was only hearing about a lot of that because that's not the activity that I generally get involved with. That's not me. I'm not a PvP guy. I'm not a trials guy. Um but and then you dragged me through a little bit of Borderlands.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
And
back and
and then
finish that.
and then and then we just kind of stopped. We got that one night through it, and
Yeah, I'll be going back to it eventually. I just
we stopped on an ice wall, and we're like, all right, we're just gonna go here.
yeah, I just wasn't feeling it too much at that point. It was kind of the same old. And
Right.
after
It
that
hit again, just
after
like,
that bullet sponge of a fucking boss, man, I
oh
I was
god,
ready for a fucking break.
yeah, and it was just that too, an absolute sponge.
Yeah, I mean,
How long
well,
did we spend in that one fight?
oh dude, probably 20 30 minutes easy, and it wasn't taking any damage. And part of the problem with that is it's resistant to fire, and my Amara build is based off of fire. I usually can wipe out shields and stuff like that and armor fairly quickly by throwing on a corrosive something
Yeah, but
with the fire.
their corrosives weren't taking any of that damage though.
Yeah,
Like none of the enemies were taking the straight up damage that needed to be done. And I kept trying to go in and follow what the Mayhem 4 was on it, and it just didn't matter what I brought in. I had weapons for every occasion, and it just didn't matter what I brought. You just fucking drag on.
yeah, dude. I was. I mean, the new enemy types are cool.
Oh yeah.
You know, the Lovecraft nod is definitely there, but I was I,
Or a shield that we already
mm-hmm.
have, like one that doesn't go with the builds that we're running either. It was, they were like, oh, legendaries from the vending machines. It's like, yeah, but it it shit like the fucking
Yeah, it's dumb stuff, man.
yeah, just the bullshit, the most common drop shit, like right there front of the store. It's like, oh, it's yellow. It's like, yeah, but it's a dumb yellow. Like y'all made dumb yellows. This is one of them. You know it.
Yeah, yeah. I was yeah,
As much fun as it is, it finds itself in that same little corner too. It's just kind of,
yeah,
it's what it is. It's what
yeah,
it is. It hasn't elevated itself into its looter shooter madness. It just seems to kind of be, it's it's sadly kind of anthemy.
yeah. Where it just feels redundant.
Yeah, where you don't necessarily feel like once you hit power, you don't feel like anything else you're getting really is doing anything with your build.
Yeah,
In a lot
yeah,
in a lot of cases, like nothing evolves. It just hits that wall, and then that's kind of where you're at, and you're just trading out maybe small little perk here, small little perk there that still doesn't really evolve anything. It just kind of makes you have another thing.
yeah, yeah. Once, I mean, my build's still good,
Oh yeah. Oh, you go through your murder. I mean, it in 90% of the time that is the case.
but I mean, I'm already 57. Like, I just don't feel like I don't feel rejuvenated or my drive to go back and just grind again isn't rejuvenated because I'm still looking for the same shit.
Right. Yeah, still looking for the same stuff, and it's still not dropping.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
the messed up shit is like we were doing the other night, and the same thing starts happening as always. I'm like, legendary, 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 and you're like, I ain't got shit.
mm-hmm.
We've killed, we've killed not. I primarily have killed 900 things, and you have gotten legendaries.
Yeah, dude, I get robbed on the leggies too, and I don't fucking understand that one fucking bit. Fucking bosses not dropping leggies for me. And that shit happens all the fucking time, and that's rather annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I've heard you when you're running just by yourself talking about like the fact that shit still ain't dropping.
Yeah, I'm running
And
Mayhem
I'm
4 bosses by myself and sometimes still not getting legendaries out of it.
yeah. Yeah, I know. It's a fucking hard life out there.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb.
You so you must be an atheist and completely anti RNGesus, I guess. Is that what it is? You're being punished for being anti RNGesus?
I guess, man. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, shit. You know, that's where that game ended up. But that's why I found myself back in Minecraft and I'm playing the bullshit, the fucking snapshot, and running races in Forza. Like I finally became the Forza Drivers Cup champion.
Nice.
Completed the initial season lifetime playthrough in Forza, all the way to the end of it. And the minute I got enough points for that drivers championship, they were like, "Congratulations on winning the Forza Drivers Championship," and gave me a nice little outfit to wear. Maybe rewarded me with a couple cars, and I know a good amount of cash. And I'm like, "All right, that's cool." And then I click to, go past my celebration where all my trophies are sitting around and everything else, and it takes me back to where the all the different championships had taken place, the same wall that I had played through.
Yeah.
And they're like, boom, 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 boom. And each one of those championships, you're hearing these fucking noises and you're seeing flashes, and it's resetting events, and they're not the same events that they were before. They're new events now.
Okay.
I had to run a 1 hour, what was it? 1 hour and 20 minutes? Something like that, somewhere around that. I wonder, I bet I don't even have the time up here anymore. Um, but hour and 20 minute 8 laps around Nürburgring, full.
Jesus.
And okay, here we go. Hour and 15 minutes. My best lap time was 9 minutes and 7 seconds.
Damn.
No, excuse me. That was not me. My best time was 9 minutes, 35 seconds in a Honda Civic.
But,
Racing modified, of course, like the
right, but
full, like, no, like full decked out, like racing series racing Honda Civic. But yes, racing Honda Civic regardless. But yeah, like hour and 15 minutes, hour and 60 minutes, something like that, to do 8 laps. And that was in the first series going into what I'm going to just call my second season.
I feel like I'd be okay with that, with, your setup, having the wheel and stuff like that. But dude, if I was sitting there for an hour and 20 minutes with a fucking controller, fuck that. That would not be
Oh,
fun.
oh yeah, I imagine it would, especially Nurburgring with like this car. Like it was, it was not. It was honestly not even really much fun in the rig. There, I was on lap 6, an hour, like just about to be an hour into it, and was like looking at the timer. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And I paused on a straightaway and got up, walked around, and did some shit in the house. And it was like, I just can't right this second. Give me a minute. I need to stretch. And sat back down and finished it up. But then when they changed, they're really difficult races, like because of car type or something like that. Like some cars you can't do anything to. They version of like a BMW.
Okay.
But I had to go and beat 6 BMWs from all the different other classes below, all the way back to me. And it was in one lap. I had to catch them and pass them, all 6 cars in one lap.
Damn.
And it was tough. I had to run it a couple times because I'd get certain things where the track would work really good, and then I was pushing too hard in other places and kind of losing time. The first time, all I did was, by the time I got to the end of the race, was I got to the ass end of the car that was in front of me originally. Like, I just spent the entire race chasing it down. And then by the time I finally won it, it was coming around the last turn on the inside, rubbing, so it's what they've done to it for the next stage of it is cool, but it's tough. And that's why I didn't sit down with it like yesterday and really fucking go at it, because it was like, man, today I'd rather just watch a race. And they gave me plenty of opportunity to do that. So,
Talked about that a little bit earlier. I think it's NASCAR fans who can't watch NASCAR have a game to play to kind of like, oh, maybe I'll get to play with my NASCAR hero type of thing.
there is a possibility that if you are good enough and can work your way up through the rankings throughout whatever remainder of time that they're on this, because you can drive multiple days anytime you want to get your licenses in order to try and qualify to run in this main event, where these pros are getting a pass to run automatically. So
Yeah.
you may very well be able to earn a spot in iRacing to run in these events.
Yeah, see, that would be pretty cool.
And they're not the only ones, though. I mean, you've got sim racers in the Formula 1 and Formula 3 divisions that are also doing this, and it's also being powered through iRacing. iRacing's making a killing right now. Apparently they've got the best fucking format for authenticity and everything else as far as what to do. So it's a trip. It's a trip to watch all of them because, like I said, you got Indy cars running theirs, Formula One's running theirs. This week was won by an esports guy.
Nice.
Timmy Hill, low end NASCAR driver, normally showing up with some really bad equipment on a real track, and you're not getting any notification, sponsorship, or anything else like that. But he's pretty handy in the sim racing and has been around for a while doing that. And he just moved one of the biggest kids right now in the sport with William Byron driving Jeff Gordon's old car, 24 Exalta car. But right there on the last lap, nudged him a little bit, gave him the rub and run, and fucking pushed him just enough to get him loose and got around him and won the race. Like an esports guy, Timmy Hill, won. And so, yeah, that in itself was a moment where NASCAR fans also took notice of going, wait, I can play too?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I mean, I don't even really follow NASCAR or watch NASCAR or anything like that, but I mean, if I had the setup and was good enough and had the opportunity to run with pros, I'd definitely be shooting for it.
Yeah, that's what I had a buddy of mine hit me up today. He's like, man, it doesn't look like our race in May is going to be happening because right now NASCAR's got doubts on whether or not they'll be able to come back for the May 9th race. And so we're dealing with that on just like a real life level. And I was like, man, I've been thinking about this iRacing thing. I was like, I'm thinking about moving the chair and wheel and shit in here, and it might be worth that subscription to iRacing to maybe try and get out there and do something against some of these guys.
So what's the subscription to iRacing cost?
I think it's $65 for the year.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
I mean, you buy a new game every year, and it's just like buying a game every year. If you're into it, you're into it.
Yeah. And this but you got to earn your way up through stuff, Like this is the serious thing because they want to run your real name. They don't want no gamer tags. They want to run, like the rules are stringent as hell. Like even if the dude does brake check, turn one better be fucking clean, regardless of whether you think you can slide between cars or not. That's not what they want. They want real, like, treat it like it's real life fucking driving. Don't be a reckless dumbass in any way, shape, or form. And so that's kind of what iRacing is being held to. And that's why also if you've got the capability that you can run with these pros, is because it's not bullshit. If you've got the skill set, then you can earn your way up through the field just like these guys did in a real car. It's only because they're so famous in a real car right now that they got the pass to come play the video game.
Right.
But they've also ran across their counterparts that are the guys that spend the real time in this game, and those guys are showing them that this world is something too. So it's a healthy bit of competition, and if you think you're good enough, this puts you on a level that you can possibly compete. And high-end equipment's not a necessity. I mean, you're definitely not running it on no controller.
Right.
We know that part. But like high-end equipment is not a necessary thing. I mean, if you look at the build for Timmy Hill, I put a video in there for you. The one that is he does a burnout and an interview at the same time. That is literally the Timmy Hill interview as he won the race and is getting ready to do his burnout. He's on Fox being interviewed by Jeff Gordon. And
to be out the car and on a podium.
He's sitting there and like he knows he gets to do his burnout, and everybody kind of picks because he's a gamer, and they say he drew a dick during his burnout, but but that's him. He's just going, and you see that setup?
Yeah, dude,
it's a rudimentary setup. It's a good PC, base level, probably steering wheel. Looks like it might be a G35.
I'm gonna say that's definitely a Thrustmaster.
No, it looks Logitech.
Is it? You think it's?
The shifter, you look at the way the shifter is set up over there, that looks like a Logitech shifter.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so and you see you see what he did on the track?
Yep. 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 Definitely looks like he drew a dick.
So gamers everywhere were fucking outstandingly happy about how this went down for the gamer side, because I was watching both sides of this. I was watching the one that was going on live on Fox and listening to that commentary while also watching one of the drivers stream it. And I'm watching a Twitch streamer, even though 9 of the NASCAR guys all had Twitch set up and were running it over Twitch as well. So you got to watch Denny Hamlin's car, and he has done the most to embrace this format. He's got we talked about the rig last week, and we were saying something like 40,000 was what we were talking about the rig that he had.
Yeah, somewhere around there. No, it was like it was
140,000.
Yeah, it was like 140,000.
All right, so we were talking about that rig. Well, he didn't stream last week, but he did this week. And when he was streaming this week, he had one camera facing him from over top of the monitors there, so you could see his face while he was driving. He had an overhead that was pointing down at the steering wheel mounted up. So he had all the Twitch camera shit set up too, so that you could get what a Twitch audience would want to watch.
Yeah.
Perfect. It was perfect. Like all the shit. Like, you want to see what his feet are doing? You want to see what his fucking hands are doing?
Yeah, he had some pros come in and set up his shit, basically.
Oh yeah. He was also the highest viewed out of the broadcast too, putting poor Garrett Smithley, that's my guy right now, man, in the series, because he's just like Timmy. He's got this little steering wheel sitting there on the desk, tied down to the desk, playing his DX Racer gaming chair. It's just like, that's my dude right there.
Yeah, if I get my racing wheel, I'll be doing it in an AK racing chair, but
right.
I'll be just fine in my AK racing chair. I just need the mount for the pedals and stuff like that, and I'll be good to go, because I'm not trying to set it up every time I want to do it. I'm wanting to pull out the setup, plug it in, and go.
Yeah, that's what I like about what I've got so far. With mine, like, you can stand it up and get it in the corner out of the way. It takes up a lot of space when it's down on the floor. I mean, we know these guys are running setups that don't move. A couple guys remember that setup that I showed you that Waffle built?
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple guys I saw are running that setup now. So I've seen that one come back out. I like the fact that everybody's running 4 monitor.
Oh, the 3 wide, 1 tall?
No. 3 wide, 1 wide up, leaned in. The one that's up and leaned in.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Is like 1 up above. 3 wide, 1 up above.
Yeah. Well, you run.
Yeah,
wide
I run a horizontal one. Yeah. I guess I should have worded that. I could have worded that better, I guess, but whatever.
But yeah, so with that overhead lean in, and that seems to be about what everybody's running. Is that setup? Anybody who's put a lot of money into it in the past couple weeks, which we knew all the NASCAR guys were going to do.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Got the money, spend it. We're seeing the same thing out of F1 and stuff like that. And there's a particular story wheel down there in Tech News. This ties into iRacing a little bit. Okay. This one right here, there was a driver that was in a horrible accident. Horrible on-track, real-world accident off into the catch fence, and has been rendered temporarily paralyzed from the waist down. Now, he's gaining the ability to walk with assistance now.
Right.
Which means he still wouldn't be getting back in a Formula One car.
No, absolutely not.
But from the guys over here at Max Pappas. I'm sure you may have heard that name at one point or another. He's a pretty notable individual over there in the F1 series of things. And if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see a tweet that went out from Max Pappas, and it shows you're familiar with the variants of race wheels that are available because you've been looking at Fanatec systems.
So he's got a wheel that has the throttle built into it, is what I'm looking.
It's a throttle and brake lever built into the rear side of a quick connect race wheel that he'll be able to use. And he'll be returning to the track next week. They ran into a complication with shipping last week, so he missed last week's race. But he will be strapping himself into his little rig next week, and will get to take the first lap around the track since his accident. And we know it won't be a real life lap; it'll be a virtual lap. But for them to have the capability to put together a system to bring him back to the sport in this manner.
Yeah.
Another one of those kind of like heartfelt stories out there where you're like, look, man, some people are just good people.
Yeah.
Or amazingly, they're good people. People are awesome. But yeah, so but their company worked on building this for him, and everything has arrived and it's all set up. You scroll down a little bit further in that page. There's a little bit of the inner workings there. Once you get down to Robert Wickens is the guy who's going to be doing the racing. You'll see his rig's all set up and ready to go for him now. The picture he shows doesn't have the wheel attached, like the steering wheel attached to it yet, but it's a quick connect wheel. So what happens is he'll sit down in the seat and he'll put his wheel in place and he'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a Fanatec setup.
Yeah.
Wheel,
that's
anyways.
why I said. Yeah, that's why I said since you'll be familiar with what you're looking at, because I know you've definitely recently been studying a lot on this Fanatec system. So, yeah, it's like a couple modifications by this other engineering company is going to be able to put a partially paralyzed guy in a race car.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And it would be interesting to see what this development brings like to the real sport, because we know that real racing is going to resume once people are allowed to start racing again. It's the reason why racing is taken off and is everywhere that it's at right now, is because racing started the moment the second car came off the assembly line.
True. True.
You know, we got two of them. Let's see which one's faster.
Yeah.
It was, you know, we know that's what, like, and so this type of innovation being able to take place here, I mean, we know on like that high level, it's probably not at a moment that we would see people allowed to use within the sport currently. But this could be a sprinkle in the water of foreverness that somewhere down the line, maybe we see a paraplegic F1 driver.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, at least digitally, they would be. Or
well, I mean, no, we're getting a somewhat right now. You know, so I'm talking.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, because
off
then
in the way distance.
Yeah, because if you're using a setup like this and it proves viable and safe, then why not?
Viable, safe, and capable.
Then
It's
what's to
just
stop
more
you?
inclusion. It's more inclusion.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, but I've spent this much time in the rig and I know how to do this, and we've got the setup for the car, and somebody starts running it out on the track somewhere, unbeknownst to anybody else, and they find out after testing and testing and testing that they could pull it off. I mean, not for anything. Was it Mercedes this year? is allowed to run their funky little steering wheel setup, but they're not next season. It's been outlawed only because they brought it in this year. Were they going to be allowed to continue to use it? They can pull on the steering wheel in and out while driving it and make adjustments to the toe and camber
Oh,
of the tires on the fly. So you got a way that a car drives really good down a straight line. And then you got a way that a car turns really good.
yeah. So they can adjust it.
Mercedes has found a way to put that in the driver's control of being able to make on the fly adjustments. And they've done that in their real life car that goes on the track
Yeah, that's
every
pretty
race
wild,
week.
man.
So it's okay. So if that's possible, and then Pappas has done this to, you don't even need the fucking foot pedals, then why not? Why not? You know?
Yeah, I guess as technology advances, you got to go with it, or you're gonna get left behind.
Yeah. And the more competitive people with any disability have gotten over time, that why not? Why not? It only makes perfect sense when you see something like this. Yes, we know it's only something to get a guy in this system right now, but somebody thought to get this guy into this system right now. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Is like, okay, but somebody had the idea to put the dude in the seat. That's and Ken Block, I'm sure you're familiar with like all of his gymkhana type of activities that he does in the wild high speed rides that he does. He's got a guy on one of his teams that has no arms
Okay.
and goes and does gymkhana events where he's fucking highballing around turns and shit.
Oh yeah.
So, like I said, for me, when I saw this little piece, I was like, this is my good news story of the week. And it's racing news and it's video game news, but it's got such big implications for like real world practice. And I know how we like technology that does wild shit like that.
Absolutely.
I was like, so this is my one. I was like, huh. Didn't think there was any news out there, but this one right here, this is fucking cool.
Yeah, that. Oh yeah. Well,
And we'll see how he handles it this week. He said he's getting his hours in, and I'll be watching when they go live. They're going to run St. Peter's Grand Prix. Is going to be the series that they're going to be running iRacing this week in their cars, and we'll see if he can really run it, because I'm sure it's going to be a major adjustment for him.
yeah. Well, yeah. Not using your feet. No. What do you mean gas brake? My feet don't work. Oh man, I wonder if that would definitely fuck with you though. I mean, I've never had this experience, and I hope to God I never do, and would never wish it on anyone. But you know how they say you have like ghost limbs if you lose a limb. So your body's gonna. I mean, especially if that's something you've trained your whole life for.
Yeah, he's a professional F1 driver.
Yeah,
so
you feel I would feel like my feet would want to be working pedals, and like you're gonna be doing that subconsciously almost with that amount of training.
Yeah,
Because it's second nature at that point. It's muscle memory.
yeah, it's outstanding, man. It's how it's gonna be. Like, I can't wait to see how it plays out, because if he adapts and really enjoys it, then it's going to provide a little bit more validity. Like I said, like if he can compete and is enjoying it, there's some disabled person out there that's going to be like, oh yeah, I bet I could do that better.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never had feet. I bet you my feeling on that is better.
Maybe when he gets himself back up and running and fully mobile again, maybe he just donates that to the people gets with the people who help develop it and donates it to someone who can't
Yeah, I
use
was
their
gonna say,
fucking legs.
I think Pappas with this development though is gonna start churning these out anyway. I think it'll be in pretty high demand because I know how excited I got when I saw it, and I have all my abilities.
Yeah.
So I know that somebody definitely that is in a different situation than I am is looking at that and going, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, I think I can handle that." And then there's a future F1 driver, or fucking stock car driver, or Indy driver that also saw the same opportunity to go and do what they wanted to do and compete with the pros, like us with iRacing right now. This last couple more weeks, I might be good enough to be able to run at the race in a couple weeks, especially if it's like a Martinsville. Oh, please tell me instead of getting to go to it, I get to race in it. That it's that type shit.
Right.
Like, oh man, I hate I'm gonna miss the race. Y'all keep an eye out for me on TV when I'm running in it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty damn cool.
Right? So, and like I said, I see the same kind of thing for anybody out there who sees this. There's got to be a ton of people lined up just going, can I get my hands on one?
Yeah, no shit. I know I would be if I needed it.
Yeah, put this kid out. Can I?
But all right, well, shit. It is 9:05. You want to take 5?
Yeah, we can do that.
I'll start turning music up. You tell me when you got good volume. You should have it right now. You're not hearing it at all?
It's very small.
All right.
Yeah. If you and I hush and turn off mics on our end, it'll probably get a little bit louder. So y'all enjoy this real quick, and we'll be right back after this.
Yeah, about 5 or so.
Yeah, we're back, I guess.
Yeah, we's back. As soon as I kick this scene over here.
Are you clicking?
Yeah,
Do you not have your Stream Deck set up to switch scenes for you?
I haven't changed it since we went to a 2-man.
Dang it.
Oh well, though.
Yeah. We are the Angry Dandelion.
Yep. So one thing that's nice about this Mountain Blade is I've just been doing missions where I send my people off the whole time we've been talking.
Oh yeah, so you're play and broadcast, huh?
Yeah, because I mean, I click on a city, my people go there. If there's a mission I can send out or to like escort something, I send out my people on one, then I go to and click on another city, my people go there, and if there's another like escort mission, I take that one, and all I got to do is click on the city I need to go to, and my people go there. Then I complete the mission and I make more money. So I haven't
Okay.
really been doing like any combat or anything like that. I've just been doing kind of the off quests though, but making some money little bit by
Well,
little bit
yeah,
and kind of exploring the game and learning some things.
yeah, we know right now, based on anybody who would have caught the stream earlier, combat is not necessarily your strong suit. So
I've got since then I've actually gotten a little bit better. I've won like 2 tournaments now. It's just
okay,
it's just been taking some adjustment to the timing that you need. And now that I'm starting to get comfortable with the controls and starting to get timing down on how to just murder people, I mean, I am playing it on very easy because even
because it
easy, I
was
was getting,
not.
yeah, even easy, I was getting my ass handed to me. Of course, I was trying to use that 2-handed sword where you don't have a shield, so you actually have to control which side you're blocking to and everything. Like that's a skilled weapon to use right there, a 2-handed. Not having a shield sucks.
Yeah, that's kind of what they taught you in medieval times.
The
They were like, you can be a real badass with this one sword, but it better be everywhere you need it to be when you need it to be there. Or you can take this littler sword and we'll give you this big fucking wall of wood to put in front of you so you don't have to be quite so good anymore.
right.
And yes, I saw the first combat. I
Yeah.
saw the very first combat.
Yeah, it was
And
ugly.
oh, it was basically you would have been the knight for money python.
Yeah, no arms, no
Yeah,
legs. Yeah.
yeah, you would. Tis only a flesh wound.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, because he got a couple good shots in on you.
But
I seen it.
now that I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with shield, I want to get better at aiming with the bow. I feel like that's
Yeah, it looks like they're the spears and the bows are you got to be pretty handy with those too because they don't like they're are they a timing thing too with the spears as far as like when they actually function like
there's a certain window to get your hits, and you have to thrust at the right time to get your hit at at a later time. I mean,
boy
it's
I bet jousting in that game if you could do like PvP jousting matches would be insane.
yeah. Um, well, there is PvP, but I don't know if it's just like straight up jousting. But and I haven't dived, whatever, whichever one is the right one at this point.
Whatever the vernacular is for that.
Yeah. Um, I haven't went into that just yet because I'm actually enjoying. It's like it's kind of like Civ, as far as pacing goes, you know, you can just kind of go as you want to go, and when you're in a town, time stops. So yeah, it's laid back. You can kind of think through moves if you want to, but you also can get some first person or third person action combat in there.
That's always good.
And the whole time, you know, you're building your army, and I'm brand new to it, so I don't even know what the end game is. I did a little bit of research about what on reviews and stuff like that and what people said about it, and got a general idea. And the way I like to do things is I like to go in and be surprised.
Yeah.
If I read enough that I feel comfortable making the purchase, I'll make the purchase. But I want to learn it.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
enjoy that process. I'm not the guy who wants to go in and be the pro right away.
You weren't using a Game Shark for Nintendo.
Yeah, no.
You didn't even look at the book. You were like, it tells me I jump with this button and I
Man,
run faster
anyone who
with this
knows me
button.
knows that my catchphrase is I can't read.
I see the pictures. It
Yeah,
says hoppy hoppy push your button.
I can phonics just fine, but I
Gotcha.
cannot read.
Phonics.
That's how I
Oh,
feel about that.
so that's where you're at with Mountain Blade. I've watched enough of it earlier today with you playing it. That you're saying it's got that RTS and RPG slam combo
Yeah, kind of.
where you've got a little bit of that, like, let's plot our moves, let's make sure, see what we're going to do, but it gives you that hack and slash in the face fight wielding, medieval weaponry. Or is there magic build in any of that setup, or
no magic at all.
this is a purely authentic, like,
Yep,
medieval style play?
horses and swords, man.
No fantasy medieval.
Yeah, no fantasy. It's the thing. And I lost the damn caravan I was following, but
Oh.
they fucking took off on me, bastards. I'll catch up to them.
Would you say what was that? What was that other game? Something Deliverance.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah.
That was more of a Skyrim-esque.
This with giving you the additional team that you're in control of gives you the RTS, because you kind of got to plot them out and see what you're going to do with them.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that they're properly outfitted and able to. I mean, the fights seem really lopsided. Kind of early on.
Yeah. But it's not.
Like, what was it? You had 10 guys and ran into a 151, 171 person army or something like that?
Yeah. Well, I rode with them. I joined them in a battle against bandits. Like, so I just stood back and let them all go do their thing. And be honest with you, that's a lot of what I've been doing in combat anyways, is trying to learn how, because there's a command system for your troops and you can set formations and call for a shield wall and all kinds of stuff like that.
Okay.
So you can actually, when you get into larger scale combat, you can set up your formations and stuff like that and have. So
you
I'm
can
trying
take
to learn
more of a general's role instead of having to be a combatant.
Yeah. So that's something I'm trying to learn how to make those calls and stuff like that, and I'm learning it through experimentation and doing it. And
right. Okay, that makes sense. Would definitely see a game to be the game style that I would most see you wanting to play.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes down to that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into the combat unless I have to.
See, I would just be running around hitting shit. It's weird. I would be the Titan in the scenario where you and other games like to be that guy.
Yeah, and I am trying to get good with the bow, because
it looks like it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, if you can get good hits.
You hopped into that one tournament and yeah, you were throwing axes at people right off the rip of it, but like when you started getting hit with them arrows, like the damage indicator on you was just like, oh, you're getting fucked, dude. Like these arrows are hitting you, and you can't throw axes fast enough to to compete against this bow. And that was just one of those fights.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy shit. I was like, man, I was like, he's gonna have to fucking step it up in order to get through this one. And I didn't see how the end of that fight went, because like I was just kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah, I've got some
Like those arrows are ruthless.
okay armor now on my dude that I've won from winning tournaments and stuff.
Okay.
But wish there was a way to just set to follow, because I lost that fucking caravan. And every time you stop moving, it pauses the game essentially. So I stopped, and the caravan kept moving. Though I like it's gone. Hopefully it completes the
Oh,
quest for me, but I don't know where the caravan went. And I've been all the fuck over. I'm just gonna go to this little fishing community and pick up a new mission.
that's another thing about the game too. From when we were looking at it, the map is dumb.
It's huge, man.
Yeah, this makes all of Tamriel look a little small.
Yeah, it is massive. Like I'm zooming out and can't see all of it. Yeah, I still have to move up and down to see all of it, and I'm fully zoomed out.
Yeah, see, that's insane.
Yeah. But I want to get to the point to where like I own and operate a castle
Well, yeah.
and had to defend against sieges and stuff like that, because I'm King James. But
Mm.
I'm I want to see where this goes. I guess I'm into it enough.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've definitely noticed that it's been able to captivate your attention enough today.
But yeah,
It's like I'm battling between making books and trying to find lapis lazuli. It's like, do I want to go use my cow farm to farm leather, or do I want to go down in a hole and look for blue rocks? And that's been my struggle of the day, is because I want to run enchantments. I got iron on lockdown. Like right now, that ain't nobody around me is worrying about being able to just slap like iron on everything. But I ain't got lapis lazuli to put enchantments on any of it. So, tis the problem I be facing currently.
yeah. So you need to get some of that shit.
Well, yeah. You ought to see my strip mine. Like it's kind of weird. Um, as much area as it covers, and as little of anything that I've found except for iron and coal. Like I've started getting a little bit more into finding a whole bunch more gold, but
Nah.
it's like that don't do. Yeah, actually, gold has a use now.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's in the 116 in the snapshot for that, there is a new type of pigmen. Like there's the normal pigmen that were there before, but there's a new one, and if you're not wearing an item made of gold, he'll just come over and fuck with you
Oh.
until you're dead. He has a a warthog pet that also likes to run around and fuck with you, regardless of whether or not you're wearing gold.
Okay.
But if you're wearing gold, you don't have to deal with the warthog and him. So, golden pieces of armor, at least one piece. Um, Still trying to find the netherite. Haven't gotten to that point yet. Don't know whether I want to spend time in the nether. Don't know whether I want to spend time in the regular world. And if I'm in the regular world, it's that lapis
Yeah.
that's holding shit back. But at the same time, I need to be able to put max enchantments on shit at the moment that I'm able to, which means I need a lot of books so I can make a lot of bookshelves so I can wrap my enchanting table with enough bookshelves to fucking do what needs to be done as far as getting my enchantments done. You know, you want to be able to max enchant. So,
Makes sense.
yeah, my cow farm's working good right now. I got enough paper, and I'm getting leather. Every time I get leather, I make books, and every time I make books, I make bookshelves. But you're still talking about a full harvest that doesn't pull together more than like 6 bookshelves.
Oh,
So,
that seems like a
and
lot of work.
yeah, I mean, you know, no, no more than trying to get to the next city and making sure that everybody's got the right amount of gear on them to be able to survive the fight that it's going to take them to get there.
I don't have to put gear on them. They do level up when you get into battles and they die. And there is upkeep you have to pay, and my money's starting to get tight. I may have to enter an arena or something along those lines at some point here and try and get some quick cash.
Get some tournament action going on, win some
Yeah.
SMO tournaments.
Yeah, play some wagers on myself or some shit.
You'll never make it into the Hall of Fame if you do that. Can't be betting on yourself. You bet on other people.
There, now you can see where I'm at.
Yes, yes, very much so.
But yeah, trying to get the missions. Um, I don't know if probably everybody in the world has seen the Minecraft world thing, but while you're talking about Minecraft,
Yeah, the Minecraft world.
I mean it was kind of cool looking. I watched the video for a few minutes. This guy talking in the beginning is kind of meh, but when he starts, because I don't understand the Minecraft lingo or the mods or anything like that, but you know when he starts zooming around places and like pulls up into the sky and shit, that's pretty cool.
Right. So he went into a creative world and placed block by block to my understanding, 1-to-1.
He didn't place block by block. There's a mod that uses Google Maps to auto place, and there's also a mod that removes a height limit and like makes
Okay.
blocks bigger. Yeah, it'll pop up on the stream for you in a second, but yeah, it's
So
modded.
he used a lot of, yes, I can tell here. He used a lot
Yeah.
of mods. Oh man, I can't imagine what that fucking poor PC has gone through.
Well, I think it's only 2 mods. Well, with the use of 2 important
Well,
mods, it's using the mod Cubic Chunks, it's possible to effectively remove the game's height limitation. Meanwhile, Terra 1-to-1 does what the name implies. It draws from map data, chiefly Google Earth, in order to closely recreate actual real world landscapes. So the mod does all the building itself. Is my understanding.
Yeah, but I'm saying just to be able to explore that.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
To explore that creative space.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Not to do the building, but just to house what that is insane work on a PC. Just to run it is retarded.
Yeah, that Mount Everest looks cool though.
Oh yeah. I wonder what was up with the little niches of throwing in some lava here and some lava there. Because I those decisions had to be made once you ran up on it. Oh, look at all the terracotta for the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, it's a.
I've got a biome near the current world that I have that has um, a large terracotta biome nearby.
Nice.
Why? Why Japan got to be
Flat?
Iceland? I mean, yeah. See, with the fluidity of how he's able to look around and look at everything and move throughout the world, there's a big PC behind that you're not seeing chunks load and like
yeah, that makes sense.
It's not no. You want to really test your PC and see what it's capable of doing? Open up a Minecraft server. Open up a 50-person Minecraft server and watch what happens to your poor computer.
It's like that, huh?
Oh, it's like that. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's just little fucking square blocks, man. It's a little 8-bit fucking square block. It's some old bullshit. This ain't no block." Yeah, go ahead, go ahead and test just the vanilla version of the game on your system in Java. Go and go exploring. Make sure you got your map up the whole time. Map it all out too while you're at it. You're gonna need more than one. And each one of your maps is expandable 5 times.
I'm gonna go fight this arena. So I added in.
You need cash.
Yep. So I added it into the stream real quick.
I see that.
I'm probably gonna get my ass kicked. I've been drinking.
All right, this is the tournament of Mazka.
Myzia? It's an E. It's probably small for you.
Oh, Myzia. Okay. Myzia. And it's you in a tournament.
Yeah.
The red are guaranteed combatants, or the red are your team?
They're my team this first round. So the first round is 4v4, 4v4. Then it breaks down to 1v1, then 2v2, then 1v1.
Oh man, what a fuck dichotomy of like how you gotta associate yourself with the group.
It's interesting.
Because
hey, you can hit E and kick. I will kick.
All right. Kick that horse. Why do they get horses?
Some people get horses. And that guy got wrecked.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Go red team.
Yeah. All right. So there's
all right. Round 1 done.
Nope. There's the guys on the horses yet, and my health is trash. So I got to be careful.
And ooh, now you're just a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows they got to kill y'all too.
There we go. That guy's off his horse.
All right.
Yeah, because you can kill their horse too.
Oh no, dead horse.
Ooh, and that guy just has a pole.
Anybody just watching the stream, you see the beard flowing. I gotta fan under the table over there.
They got that last guy off his horse too.
All right. Y'all killed the last guy.
He's about to be dead.
Now you're going to go over and kill the actual very last guy.
Team took care of it.
Oh, you didn't get a hit in.
Don't care. Next round, skip.
All right.
Now it's 1v1. Ouch.
Yeah, he's fucking. He's a little bit on that whoop your ass mode.
He just took 2 solid hits.
Oh, that was cool. He fucking sideswipe miss.
Dead.
All right. So now to the 2v2 round.
Yeah, we're gonna skip this one. Yeah, now it's 2v2. That guy got the bow. I wanted the bow.
That guy has no helmet. I'd smack him in the face with a. Hey, see, that guy's got the right idea. Fucking smack him right in the head. Overhand chop. Fuck that dude. Ain't got no helmet on. We just hit him in the face. That dude's got a lot of arrows in him. Like, actually more than you do. But you do have a shield to block yours, so.
Yep.
All right, so your
final round.
Your opponent is your partner that you were just with, right?
Yep, gonna bet all my money
on you to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry, I don't have the sound turned up right now.
There's the poking and prodding going. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, take that one, bud. And another one.
So what happens if you win this thing? You lose all your money, huh?
If I win, I get more money than I had. But if I lose, there we go. I just won. All right. And I get another prize too. Yeah, I got a new helm, a heavy nozzle helm over Imperial Mail.
So is that worth the gold risk?
I earned $351.
How much?
So I got my money back plus another $351. Nope. No, I didn't. I just got $351 back. But whatever.
I was like, you just got your money back. Like you bet on you to lose.
No, I bet on me to win.
Oh.
Yeah, I bet on me to win. But
I thought when you clicked it, you were like, I'm gonna lose.
Oh, I figured I was gonna lose, but I didn't. That helm is worth a pretty freaking penny. I already have one. Guess what? We're selling that.
And we don't need this one.
Yeah.
We don't need your helm. It's about you.
Yeah. Need that money. There we go. $1,700. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I've started to figure out the combat a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave a good display. Everybody got to see what that was about. That looked pretty exciting. All right. So, what else you got over here for us? Where else you at?
Oh, freaking! There's like trash for game news that I really care to talk about. Even this one is kind of shit. The fact that they're, as far as I'm concerned, anyways, some people might be interested in it, but Nintendo's sending out a bunch of remastered Super Mario games.
For what is this 35th anniversary of Mario? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? Something like that?
Yeah. But
I mean, if you're a Mario guy, this is definitely an exciting time for Mario people.
Yeah. Hooray. So that's what I had there.
Well, yeah, we didn't really watch the indie program that they had going on. I mean, it's you go to Switch, there's one in my household, but neither of us really get down on them quite as regularly as we do other things. So,
As in
what
never.
about your Verizon?
Oh, eh, it's cool. Ryzen mobile processors are now beating Intel's mobile processors. They aren't. I don't think they're really mainstream just yet, but
Okay,
because there's only a few laptops that they're in.
right.
But
Well, this is just another AMD nod, though, because we know that both of the next gen consoles that are coming out are going to be on this AMD platform. So this is just another aspect of them proving their versatility and capability of cross platform unification, kind of.
yeah, so the Ryzen 9 4900HS, it's 8 cores, 16 threads, and a single core boost of 4.3 gigahertz and 3.8 gigahertz when all cores are being put together.
Okay.
That's big for a mobile processor. The one I just bought, 6 cores, 12 threads, and similar clock speeds.
Okay.
So that's big.
Yeah.
And single core performance is fantastic, and multi core performance is even better. Um, but it's put in work, I guess. Um, yeah, I guess that's really all there is to that. It's Ryzen's still doing what
Oh,
Ryzen said it was going to do.
okay. Well, with a little bit of the crossover there, the we discussed previously about the other AMD build competitor into the console market. Um, we talked about how much that potentially the Xbox Series X would cost. From a little leak over here in a Danish retail store, we got a sneak peek of what the PlayStation is going to be running for. So our prices are still speculative as far as the Xbox, but we know what's in it. We also know what's in the PlayStation, and we know what it's capable of, and we've got all of that same information that we already ran over with on the Xbox, but the one price point being missed in both of those was the price point.
Yeah, I read
And
an
so
article about this.
yeah, and so this is a leak of sorts posted to a retail store's website early, um fished out or otherwise blatantly posted like a price of a Walmart shotgun in a kid's book bag, something like that. I mean, so but based on that price and based on what we said before, knowing what the architecture is and knowing what's being put into both of these machines now, does that price, do we think that we're going to see Microsoft actually follow trend on what this is and going to be exactly what we said value is of the machine that we know that's being built? Because this looks to be value of the machine being built and a price tag put on top of it.
Yeah, we'll we'll
I
see,
mean,
man. I can't see $1,000 consoles selling.
right. I'm with you right there too. I understand what you're saying, but we both know what's being built. We both know that $1,000 is not unreasonable for what's
No,
there.
$1,000 is a good price.
Yeah. So in turn, now with this price coming out here, it really confirm our suspicions of the value that's actually there and whether or not they're going to take it right in the face, or whether or not they were going to slide this one off on the chin into like future investments. I mean, is Microsoft about to follow this same route? Because if Microsoft follows the same route and these numbers are accurate, then we're going to see what we thought we were actually talking about, which was anywhere from an $800 to a $1,200 system.
My only real thing with this is I think that we may see $800 to $1,000 consoles, but I think we'll see simultaneously release dumbed down versions of these consoles.
$400 versions, $500 versions. I mean, I don't see that the dumbing down gets them into anything
Like if you
less
want the,
than $500.
4K 60, like the 4K 60, like true 60, 4K 120, if they can actually, but 4K 60 stable is what they're talking about with these.
Right.
So 4K 60 stable. If you don't need 4K 60 stable, what if they give you a 1080p 60 version? That still gives you the bonus loading times and stuff like that. So you dumb down the graphics chip, which, and at that point, could save you some money. You know, you take out start losing disk drives.
$1,000 machine taken down to the dumbed down version still puts you where though?
Around $500, I think. I
Where
don't think we're seeing any console release that's not around $500. It's not $399 when it's on sale in a year or two. My opinion. I think you're going to start seeing smartphone prices. I think what Xbox is already doing, letting you basically smartphone buy your Xbox, I think that's going to become a bigger thing, which allows you to have the higher price tag because it's just, you know, it's just $29 a month on your Xbox bill.
Well, yeah, you're just paying for the service of gaming at that point. They supply the platform and you pay for the service.
Yep. So I'm not sure what to think because the specs talk a lot of money.
I mean, that's why
the marketplace, yeah, the marketplace for a console player, or the price point for a console player is talking like $500. Yeah. I mean, really, what console player do you know that is like going to spend $1,000 on a computer? Not many. They're like, I buy two consoles for that.
I don't know of many that are going to spend $1,000 on a computer, but I can tell you one right now that's going to spend $1,000 on this if it drops for $1,000.
Yeah, Web
on a console player. Yeah, Web will be about that life. Now, you want to know who loses in this moment? One commie.
Oh, yeah.
If $1,000 console hits, that is a unique conversation to have justifying a console inside of that household. Like, so we're looking at every end of the spectrum here because we know Web just throws money around because Web throws money around. And we know Guru is definitely in a more frivolous household that likes to keep a lot tighter belt on that.
So maybe this is where you see like an xCloud thing come into play on your Xbox
I think
One.
this is why the easement of you don't have to move forward to a Series X has been made an option. I think that's what it comes down to is like,
yeah, and you'll see price drops once there's a decent adoption rate of each of these consoles.
Yeah,
$100, $200, somewhere around in there. And then a year after they drop the price a little bit and they sold out what they had in stock there, they'll drop an upgraded version. They're just turning consoles are going to turn into mobile. They are turning into mobile. Everything's turning into a mobile situation.
Yeah,
because cell phone companies are fucking rich.
Well, that's why I said with the way this was playing out, looking at the way these numbers were, and knowing the conversation we had before.
Oh, I'm look, like, Skeeter fucking commented 14 minutes ago. Hey, if you're still there, Skeeter, what the world?
We love you. We love you, Skeeter. What the world?
Sorry, I wasn't watching the comments because no one ever says anything. And then the one time someone does, maybe the reason no one ever says anything is because I'm never paying attention to them.
Yeah, it's
Whatever.
possible.
What's up, Skeeter?
But knowing what we knew from when we were talking before, when we ran down that spec sheet and we priced it out on our own, when we did that, we saw what may be accurate numbers as to what they're really going to be asking for that console.
Well, I mean, if you're talking RTX 2080 level performance, not in a sense. If you're talking that kind of performance, that's a $700 or $800 graphics card on its own.
Right.
An 8-core 16-thread processor. That's a $400-ish investment.
Yeah, 350, 400, maybe a
Yeah,
little, maybe a touch more in some
yeah,
cases.
and especially if you're gonna, because it's using Ryzen 2, it's taking advantage of the Zen 2 cores. So you're using the Ryzen 3 series processor. Now, once again, it's all custom system on chip and stuff, but so your Ryzen 3000 series chip, 8-core, you're in the $400 range. Motherboard, you could get an AM4 like B4 B5 B450 motherboard and put a BIOS update in it, or some come pre-shipped with a BIOS update. But on the cheap end there that you're going to want to get, you're looking at 120 bucks.
Right.
And then you're looking at 16 gigs DDR4. So and you want 3600 at least at this point with Ryzen 3000 series. So you're looking at about another $100. Now you're talking probably a 550 to 650 watt power supply. So there's another $100. Then you're buying the case, and there's another $100. I mean,
Kind of like owning a motorcycle.
Yeah, you're what there? That's probably close to $1,200. 1,000, $1,200.
You're already in that, 1,000, 1,200.
Well, 800, 400. Yeah, we're like $1,600.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't want to continue to escalate your price.
We haven't even added a hard drive yet. So now I had a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD for $200.
I think it's funny that the latest rumor that came out of like what Microsoft's doing is a bitch about their controllers still taking AA batteries.
Yeah, but I almost read the article about that. Did you read the article about that?
No, I didn't read the article about that, but I thought it was a silly fucking complaint when we had already broke down what the dynamic features of the console were. That, dude, if they gave you onboard fucking charging,
eventually that shit wears out.
Well, we'll see, because this next gen battery setup, as far as like, you don't pull a battery out of your cell phone and change it out during the life cycle of it anymore.
Nobody keeps a cell phone more than 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, well,
console life cycle is like 7. And controllers take abuse and are a little bit more temperamental than a cell phone at this point.
That's why we know that going to that built-in battery system is not going to work for the controller. We know that the battery pack system only works for so long, and it's still better to run. It is more economic to run AA batteries in a controller than it is to run any of the other systems.
Yeah,
inside of it.
Yeah, I mean, just buy some rechargeable AA's for that matter.
Yeah,
and you're set.
It's a better economic decision to stay with AA's than it is to.
Yeah, you spend $20 on a little charger pack with 4 AA's already in it, and you're set for life. You don't need a fancy charge cord. You don't need any of that shit.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. When we talk about what we are clearly seeing is a spike in console price. Like, this is definitely, if you're going to have the badass motherfucking machine, you are about to pay for a badass machine.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be able to sell you the special charge cord and the battery pack itself. You know, they wouldn't be able to sell you that accessory.
You mean all the accessories?
Yeah, I mean,
they try to bundle with the consoles. Yeah, when you're being told $1,200, you're already expecting a blowjob.
Mm-hmm.
and you're not getting it. You're just getting the console.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true.
So that's why I thought this one was really interesting, because I was like, this is another one of those moments where we talked about what could possibly happen with what we knew about the inside of these machines. We knew what they would not even be bullshitting you if they came at you with a price tag of these numbers that we're talking about. Like, we knew they wasn't even fucking around if they come up and said $1,200 for your console. You're still kind of getting a deal
Yeah.
on a $1,200 console. So, like, we understood that going into this, and then these numbers come out kind of just confirming what you and I were thinking as a possibility.
Yeah.
Now to see that it's a potential fact that's the route it's going to go, it's like, holy shit, man, we have to get back at this conversation and see exactly, like, you're saying the industry takes a bigger hit, though. You're trying to say that $1,000 console is not sellable, and we've already proven that the console is worth 1,000.
Yeah. At least.
Yeah, at a minimum. That's what I'm saying. We're already in the camp of, we know it's worth the money.
I mean, the only thing that you could really say that would just I'm trying to think of the console person's argument, like I'm just going to build a PC to play fucking games on. I'm not going to use its extra functionality, but at the same time, even if you're like a console streamer, you've got a computer. Like if you're a professional console
Dude,
streamer.
I told Webb that that's the one thing that's killing Mixer right now, is the fact that the Xbox does not have dual screen capability. Because if you could add another monitor, stream your video game to one and your chat and other shit to another one, that their interaction with their fucking streamers, the streamer to the audience platform, would exponentially blow up.
Yep. So I mean, a lot of these people are probably pulling up, sitting with a computer, have Xbox on one monitor, computer with chat on the other monitor, and that's how you're doing it. So you're still spending the money on a decent streaming computer, which is still in the $800 to $1,000 price range for a decent streaming PC. Now add a 4K capture card, well, 1080p for Xbox if you really want to, but add a 4K capture card for $250. So now you're up to a $1,200 PC on top of your $800 console. You should have just built a $1,500 PC and signed up for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Yep. And PlayStation Now.
Yeah, and PS Now. You could do all that, and then you can play the exclusives that they'll let you play. And who fucking cares about the other ones, because you've got the whole world of PC gaming at your fingertips on top of that.
Right. And both of your controllers are compatible, if that's your big argument.
Yeah, if you want to use a controller.
Both your controllers are compatible within the ecosystems of what they put out. So it's not like you're sacrificing a lot. But I
look at Warzone too, man. Console controller players are competitive with PC players.
Yes, and in Destiny we're seeing the same thing.
I'm sure there's some coding going on there, but
oh yeah, well they're saying, well, it's the one big thing that me and Webb talk about a lot. Forza Motorsport 7. You know what I drive?
Yep.
I got a full rig, top to bottom. We talked about it at the top of the show. But on the leaderboard, when you run rival time trials, those top guys are all still on controller. And I am clearly in the higher caliber equipment.
Yeah, this is true.
It doesn't matter if he bought the $200 Xbox Elite controller.
If he's good with it, he's good with it.
Well, right. If he's good with it, he's good with it under the parameters of what the controller world is. Right. Under the parameters of what the controller world is, because there is that coding that goes into what a controller player is doing and what a wheel driver is doing.
Yeah.
And it essentially it turns more and more of that automated processing off for the more and more detailed you want to get into complicating your gameplay. And we have complicated our gameplay to the point of sim racing.
Yeah.
The only market that we're going to be competitive with are other sim racing competitors. The controller market, with the adaptions that are made for aiming assist and other things that are very prevalent in a controller market, very prevalent in the way that the games have to be coded to adapt for that type of movement.
To bring the balance.
Right. To try and mimic some sort of equality, because at one point or another, there's no direct transference of that equality. You made things easier for controller players, but you didn't necessarily balance it to a keyboard and mouse. You didn't necessarily balance it to a steering wheel.
Right.
You just made it easier on a controller. Because it's not like they're trying to actually fill the narrative of bringing balance. They're literally just compensating with encoding the way they've always done to make movement more fluid with the control.
True.
So, and that's when you look at that realm of things, I think multi-monitor capability is one thing that the consoles are going to be short. I think, especially in Microsoft's case, when it comes to being able to stream directly over the console, I think they're going to run into bigger problems if they don't make expandable capabilities that will mimic a PC directly. It's like, oh, you gave us expanding memory slot. Ooh, big whoop. Had that 30 years ago.
Yeah, true. It's proprietary shit too, so they can sell it.
Yeah, it's also proprietary. Yeah, it's because it is just SSD slot. They said if you go in on the board and you look at it, it's SSD that connects to proprietary slot.
Yep. So they can sell you shit.
Yeah, and they don't know whether or not that's going to be expandable beyond that 1 terabyte. Because that's what you're getting is 1 terabyte of expandable space. And they're not saying whether or not you'll be able to like daisy chain some of these motherfuckers together, maybe buy a 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, like whether there's an upscale that's going to come with that at all. Right now, all you know is you got one slot on the back of it that'll take this 1 terabyte card. And there is currently no plan that anybody has seen to expand beyond that.
Yeah. You can just use your USB hard drives at that point. That's where, a 2 terabyte USB 3.0 hard drive is, your loading times are going to suffer. Or you can go out and, buy a $200 NVMe PCIe 3.0 hard drive for $200. 1 terabyte. So you just start adding external hard drives at that point.
Right.
But well, Radioland is gone.
Yeah, Radioland is gone. 8 minutes ago. Bye, Radioland. We
Yep.
appreciate you being here. For
And
those of
then,
you who didn't get to catch that,
I'm about to skip back over to the Discord and get back into some combat and try and make some goddamn money.
all right. Well, Facebook, YouTube. It has been great hanging out with y'all. This has been the Angry Dandelion Show on our special Monday editions that we have designed for you to experience the rambling, babbling bullshit that we will continue to filter out to you on every Monday for the foreseeable future that we have ahead of us.
Yeah. Bye and stuff.